Welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. Today we're going to talk about where we are with DJI and what may be happening in the next 5 months. We have a 5-month countdown to whether DJI will be at all available in the US. And you're watching this video because I am a drone industry insider. I know what's going on with a lot of these different companies, FPV companies, also supply chains that are happening are falling out all over the place, and they're falling out for a bunch of different reasons that some of you guys were not even aware of just getting into this hobby. But today we're going to talk about I was right, and I was right on a lot of things, and I was wrong on one thing. When we put out our last news on the channel, we talked about how DJI store was closed down, and about 90% of the DJI store was closed for the United States. And that is true. There was only, there was some other people making videos saying, oh, I can add to cart. Yeah, you can add to cart, not a drone, but some other little part, or maybe a camera battery, something like that. Like a lot of even the Osmos were not available in our country. And if you clicked on something like the Mavic 3 or any of the other popular drones, it came up with a notify me out of stock option, and it wasn't allowed to ship to you in the US. Now, I was wrong about it being sort of a global thing, and I thought the entire store had went down because we got this in the first few hours that this happened. So I just brought you guys the news to what we knew what was happening. We didn't have the full story yet, but we had the beginnings of this story, and now we know that it's not worldwide. So we got a lot of reports in, and I want to say thanks to people who made comments like, hey, I'm from Portugal, store's fine over here. Hey, we're from France, store's fine. So we found out pretty quickly that globally DJI was available for everyone else except for the United States. So very interesting string of events have happened over the past 5 years since the thing popped off in the Ukraine. So systematically over the past 5 years, if you've been watching this channel and all the different drone news that we've done and the state of FPV that we've been talking about on the channel, we've progressively got less and less hobby materials available to us in the US over the past 5 years since the thing really went down in the Ukraine, with supply chains being, stacks and stacks of these types of drones being sent to the Ukraine. And now we have something happening with Taiwan slowly. So some of those drones are also being sent to Taiwan. So there's a whole bunch of different hobby drones being sent to different proxies all over the world. So that's unfortunate for a hobby. And again, like, it's bringing all of us hobby guys down to a smaller level. So right now we're just subject to what's available. And I told you guys this even as far as like about a year ago. We started talking about DJI Goggles 3, right? I started telling you guys, get yourself a pair of these. These are going to become really hard to find. It's kind of like when you're leading say a group, and you know that there's going to be a shortage with water or things like that. You got to figure out ways to have water on supply. If you run out of water, that's it, right? So you got to figure out a way to get your water. And in our instance, in this hobby, this is not as important as water, obviously. But I was telling folks to get yourself some DJI stuff. Start buying the O3s, start buying the O4s. I told people that the O4s would go out of stock, and they did. They went out of stock everywhere. And it's not because they're in between batches, it's because of the demand for the different, probably, I don't know this for sure, but possibly for military type stuff that's happening all over the world. Open your eyes to the news, look at what's happening, and it's so obvious like that something is going on. But I had tried to warn a lot of people, go ahead, get your stuff, stock up, get your Goggles 3, get your N3s. And now the N3s are out of stock. So we were talking about it drying up on Amazon. It happened on Amazon. All of a sudden, a pair of goggles 3 you could probably still get from some random supplier, but they're charging like $750 for a pair of goggles 3. It's ridiculous. eBay, I've seen the O4s on eBay for $350. It's insane right now. It's completely out of control. So where we're going from here is I'm gonna give you guys like sort of my insight and roadmap to what will happen in the next 5 months. Okay, so right now you can't get any DJI, right? And we reported on the news that DJI is currently trying to pressure the US federal government to go ahead and do their internal investigation on their communication systems, on their drones, to find out if they are any type of threat to national security. That's what this is all about, okay? So if this is a threat to national security, they may not tell DJI exactly what it is they found, and unfortunately they don't have to. So if they stay quiet for the next 5 months, DJI gets banned by default. And would our government say, oh yeah, this is what we found? Would they tell an adversarial, possibly linked company to an adversarial government? Would they tell that company, hey, this is what we found? They may or may not. That's their decision, right? So in my mind, this has been systematically happening since 5 years. So in my mind, they probably found something, but they're just not telling us what that is. And there's some kind of information that has been leaked through DJI systems somehow that we don't know about. Maybe DJI doesn't know about. And the only people that do know are high up in the government. So there's no way to get that information and find out how or if or why or where. So at this point, what we need to do is just keep flying what we have and start thinking about what you're going to do in January 2026 if the spigot gets cut off for DJI. You want to be ready for that. And I know there's a lot of people out there. There's going to be a whole bunch of comments on this video talking about, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been right before, and I've been right most of the time, because I'm very well versed in this hobby and this ecosystem. I've been here since the beginning, and I've watched it all happen. I paddled into this wave a long time ago, so I see it coming, and I tried to tell you guys starting last year, start stockpiling up on, not necessarily frames and motors and things like that, but your electronics and stuff you want to have on hand in case all these supply chains get whittled down to almost nothing. There are some silver lining to this, though. There are some domestic FPV companies that are popping up that I know about right now, that are coming to even give us some components for our drones, which is really good news. Okay, so I do know that there is an ELRS radio coming for stateside sale, which is amazing. And hopefully we get some of those to test, as well as some flight controllers, ESCs, brushless motors, and I believe currently there is a VTX system on the way as well. So slowly things are happening here stateside, and I keep saying we need more government subsidies pushed into our hobby to help grow our hobby, right? We need to cultivate the FPV hobby and have it be more popular than it is, because right now it's not popular, and it's a very, very fun and like rewarding thing to learn. Anytime you're learning something and progressing and growing intellectually, it's fun to figure things out. And if you're that type of person that's not afraid to read and experiment, and experimentation and DIY like mindset for this hobby, that's what it's all about. And that's why I was telling you guys before, like if it all goes down and a bunch of stuff gets banned, we'll be okay. Because all this stuff behind me was built through innovation and a bunch of people putting all their ideas together as a hive mind. And that's kind of what all of us are. We're all a collective hive mind for doing fun things. And that is what the FPV hobby is all about. Just like collectively helping each other and learning how to get something off the ground, fly it, and feel like that pilot flying through the air, and then coming back and landing in one piece and being able to take that thing home again. That's a miracle that happens. It's awesome. So if you enjoy the FPV hobby, click like on this video and share it with a friend. And just be aware that 5 months from now, it is possible that DJI may be completely not available in the US, but we will have to see. And if anything pops up in the news, I will let you know right here on the channel. I appreciate you for watching. I'm Justin Davis, 11 years in the drone industry. I am here for you. I will see you on the next one.